Hi there, and welcome to Mental Health Monday. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're new here, you may find previous episodes of this series helpful. We are getting ready to wrap up this section of our series, Relationship Patterns That Keep Us Stuck. And today I'm going to shift our focus. But first, I just want to remind you that over the last several weeks, we've explored patterns like love bombing, breadcrumbing, future faking, emotional manipulation, and how unhealthy relationships can affect our nervous system. Now, if you've missed all of that, you can go back and look at these videos if they would be helpful. Today, we're going to shift gears and focus on a different question. What does a healthy relationship look like? Sometimes we become so focused on what we should avoid and what we should look out for that we don't stop to consider what we would like to build or lean into. So, social media for sure is full of videos talking about red flags. And while that can be helpful, healthy relationships are about much more than that. So, it's a lot more um, about what we could be doing and what we'd like to find instead of avoiding unhealthy behavior. So, healthy relationships is a place where we create emotional safety, respect, trust, and connection. So, we're going to explore three different types of relationship signals: red flags, yellow flags, and green flags. So, we'll start with red flags. Red flags are patterns that deserve serious attention because they can signal that something important isn't healthy in our relationship. So, examples may include, now I'm talking about patterns. So examples may include repeated dishonesty, repeated controlling behavior, intimidation, manipulation, ongoing disrespect, or consistently dismissing your feelings. Now, notice we're talking about patterns. We're human, people can make mistakes and do something wrong. So a one off is less concerning than a pattern of that type of behavior. So that is a red flag. Now, yellow flags we don't talk about quite as much and they can get overlooked. Those aren't necessarily signs that a relationship is unhealthy, but they're signals that something deserves some attention: curiosity, conversation, further observation. So, an example might be perhaps someone that you're in a relationship with avoids difficult conversations, or they struggle to express their emotions, or they become defensive when you offer them feedback. So, those behaviors may actually reflect um, stress or their past experiences, or maybe they don't have the capacity because they don't have skills to manage those situations yet. They just haven't learned them. So it doesn't necessarily or automatically mean that the relationship is unhealthy, but instead you want to look at willingness, capacity, interest in learning. So are they willing to talk about it? Can they take responsibility for their part? Are they open to learning and growing? So healthy relationships don't involve people that don't make mistakes or perfect people, because there's no such thing, but healthy relationships are made up of people who are willing to repair when there's a rupture, learn, and grow together. So let's talk about green flags. So we definitely don't spend enough time talking about these, which is the point of this video. Green flags are the qualities that make us feel emotionally safe. So if you disagree with someone and then because of your own relationship history, you get maybe panicky that they're going to leave, and you are brave and you say to them, "Oh, that really hurt my feelings," or "that stung," or "I didn't like how that made me feel." And they say to you, "Oh, I am so sorry. Tell me more about that. Help me understand." That is a green flag. They're curious, they want to know, they want to take responsibility, they want to grow with you and understand. So if you make a mistake and you are treated with kindness instead of shame, that would be a good thing to pay attention to. If you feel accepted for who you are rather than feeling like you have to earn love or approval, those things are all green flags. So healthy relationships don't mean you never argue, right? That everything's just great. It means that when you have conflict, you have greater understanding of each other rather than having this wedge between you that actually creates greater distance. Now, research consistently shows that healthy relationships are characterized by trust, mutual respect, emotional responsiveness, accountability, and repair. Repair is especially important. We're going to have ruptures in our relationships and we're going to have misunderstandings. But what matters is if both people are willing to come back together, listen, take responsibility when appropriate, and reconnect. So I'd like to leave you with three thoughts as we close up this part of today's series. So I want you to make sure you're not focusing only on the red flags. Also begin noticing green flags. Remember that healthy relationships are comprised of people who are willing and have the capacity to continue learning, growing, and repairing when there's a rupture. And I don't want you to just ask yourself, how does this person treat me? I want you to really check in with yourself. How do I feel about myself when I'm with them? Healthy relationships should allow us to become more ourselves, not less. So, on Thrive Thursday this week, we're going to move from understanding what emotionally healthy relationships look like to exploring practical ways you can begin to build more emotional safety, trust, and connection in your own relationships. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take good care. You got this, and I will see you on Thursday.